Hello and welcome to Wind River Radio Network and YO Today broadcast of state soccer. Folks, today we're going to watch this first contest of the Lander boys team facing off against Worland. Now, Worland is undefeated for this season. It's going to be an exciting match. Just as a heads up, I'm Rusty Wirtz, if you're just now joining, and we're we're broadcasting live from Cheyenne South High School. It's a beautiful pitch, and I cannot wait for this contest. Okay, now some housekeeping, because I haven't been saying it, I think, enough for parents, just so they know what's going on. As you remember, we're not doing a video stream today. We are doing just a radio broadcast. So the reason that is, there is an out-of-state streaming company that has been given exclusive broadcast rights to the state championships, and this goes for more than just this sport. So because of that, I'm not allowed to stream video, so my apologies there, but we will be doing a radio play-by-play broadcast where we will paint a picture with words. So if you'd like to stay tuned, I encourage you to hang out here. So this matchup is going to take place in about 7 minutes and 35 seconds. We're going to take a quick break and come back to it with your pregame show and with your starting lineups. You're hanging out with Rusty on the state championship, tournament. The state championship will actually take place tomorrow, and we'll go over brackets and the upcoming girls game as well. You're listening live with the Wind River Radio Network.
The Maven B2, a unique optic for those who demand superior low-light performance. The B2 features an abaconic prism and an ocular-filled flattener specifically designed to handle dimly lit situations. Paired with extra low dispersion ED glass and fully multi-coated lenses, this premium optic produces clear, bright, and tack-sharp images. Experience the full-size B2 7x45, 9x45, and 11x45 binocular and discover what you've been missing.
Lander Labs is here to keep our Wyoming community strong. With the power of true science and innovative testing, Lander Labs can help you navigate COVID-19 in several ways. COVID tests are available to anyone. Travel tests are available and can give you the results same day or in up to 48 hours. If you can't afford a test, Lander Labs received a grant from the Lander Community Foundation offering free testing to those who qualify. After you get your COVID shot, antibody tests can be used to ensure your vaccine is protecting you the way it was intended.
Lander Labs, keeping Wyoming strong.
Attending college at Central Wyoming College's Alpine Science Institute is the perfect place to be during a pandemic. You can live in a cabin and be socially distanced in the beautiful foothills of the Wind River Mountains. The Alpine Science Institute is a multi-use educational and recreational center for degrees in outdoor education, outdoor recreation, environmental science, anthropology, and expedition science. Don't let a pandemic stop you from pursuing a degree that is full of adventure. Go to www.cwc.edu/alpinescience and make your way.
Central Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Lander Valley Soccer. With 3 branches in Fremont County, their mission is to help develop Wyoming communities with Wyoming values. From opening your first checking account to taking out a loan for a new business venture, Central Bank and Trust is your local bank and lender. Central Bank and Trust brings top-of-the-line technologies to their customers with chipped debit cards, mobile deposit, QuickBooks integration for businesses, online bill pay, and more. Central Bank and Trust. It's more than a bank, it's a community. Visit centralbankandtrust.com. Good luck and go Tigers.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, car, or business, you can count on Mountain West Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company. You deserve a local agent who is dedicated to helping you with all of your insurance needs. And that's what you'll get with Jake Hunke, your local Farm Bureau agent. Jake Hunke offers the quality products and services you're looking for. Visit his new location at 450 Main Street in Lander or call 307-332-3295 and discover the advantages of working with a local agent. Trust experience. Trust Farm Bureau.
Welcome back to Cheyenne South Stadium. I'm Rusty Wirtz. If you're just now joining, we're gearing up for the radio broadcast of the Worland versus Lander boys game today. I'm super stoked for this one. We're going to take a look at current standings. This was as of last night on Max Preps. So the Warriors sitting 15-0 for the season. Lander Tigers 9-6 for this season. I know that this has been a point of emphasis as far as practice goes for the Tigers, learning how to deal with Worland. Now, I was chatting with the sports broadcaster, so I have to say thanks to Chance in the box next to me. Cole Venable, now we've talked about him on and off throughout the several games this season. He has 36 points scored this season. Holy cow. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. But, you know, they have some other players. Rodriguez is a slippery one to keep an eye on, as well as the keeper. Say what? I do not have any gum. Sorry. Hey, you know what? It's broadcast teamwork here in the studio, and it's a gorgeous day here. There's some clouds. It looks like it could rain, but fingers crossed that it doesn't. I was chatting with the AD as well, saying that tomorrow's the day to keep an eye on weather-wise. So anyway, as we take a look at this contest, Lander looking to have a bout against the Worland Warriors, and I cannot wait to sit here and be a part of it. And thank you for joining us as well. Again, we will not be streaming video today due to an out-of-state streaming company being given broadcast rights exclusively. So that means that no one else can join in on the fun. So anyway, aside from that, I'm only going to throw that out there a couple times, but I know there's some questions on our page yesterday about that. All right, moving on. As we take a look at this bracket for the WHSAA, if it wants to come up, come on, little guy. Maybe not. All right. Well, I do know that if the boys win this one, they will go on to the championship game. I'm bringing it up on my phone instead. Maybe they'll like us there. All right. So the winner will go on to the championship game from this match tomorrow. That'll be at 3 p.m. If you're in the Cheyenne area, that will be right here at Cheyenne South. Now, the loser of this match will go to, it looks like the third place game, and that will take place at 11 o'clock tomorrow at North Cheyenne Community Park. So 2 options there for both of these teams. Now, if we're taking a look at the girls' bracket, girls play at 4 o'clock today. Now, let me explain this first. If it becomes a match, because I'm being forced to choose of who to broadcast, and I don't want to, so I'm going to broadcast both. Normally they just pick one game, but what I'm going to do is we'll write it out, and if it's a close match toward the end of this one, we're going to stick it out and we'll start the next one in progress. If it's the opposite direction, a worst case scenario, we'll take off a little bit early from this one and go cover the girls' game. All right? Sound like a deal? Let's do it. Let's recognize some of our great local sponsors. And folks, these sponsors are the reason why this broadcast is free and why it's been free the entire season. So please thank these folks. We'll be back in about a minute with our starting lineups here with the Wind River Radio Network and WYO Today. In any sport, athletes face the chance of sustaining an injury. According to the Athletic Training Association, 90% of student athletes reported some sort of sports-related injury. What's more, is 54% report playing while injured. For various reasons, sports-related injuries are increasingly leaving our youth at risk of exposure to opioid-based pain medication. Fremont WhenTheGameSlowsDown.com is here to help navigate monitoring medication, social support, and suggestions on what to do when the game slows down. Brought to you by Fremont County Prevention Program. We'll come back a little early. We have both teams heading out to the field. Worland wearing their away unis with white top and white shorts. They have orange letters on their backs and black trim. And then Lander today, they're rocking their black uniforms with green letters and white trim. They're reminding the crowd that it is optional to wear face coverings. It's up to them. They're also reminding fans to show respect. Everyone was pretty good yesterday, I'd like to say. I will say one thing for the hike into the stadium is a little interesting at Cheyenne South, but it is a beautiful pitch. Just a tidbit of a breeze today, not as much as yesterday. Getting ready for the starting lineups.
Now for today's starting lineups.
All right, here we go.
With Worland, who will be the visitors in
The visiting team today is Worland in their white kits.
Number 2,
Rudy Sanford, a senior this year for Worland.
Number 21,
Number 21, Jaron Klinghagen.
Number 10,
Number 10, Ronaldo Rodriguez, a senior this year.
Riley Blood.
Then we have number 20, Riley Blood. We have number 4, Jory Anderson.
Cole Venable.
We have number 9, Cole Venable.
Number 3,
Number 3, Coulter Wyman.
Number 18, Jackson Wasson.
And then number 18, Jackson Wassam.
Clark Gonzalez.
We have number 24, Court Gonzalez.
Carter Clark.
Carter Clark will be the keeper,
And Cade Weber is your keeper.
and Cade Weber. And now for the home team in this contest, the Lander Valley Tigers. Starting off with number 2, we have Sam Welsh, a junior for LVHS this year.
Now the starters for Lander
I'm
Valley.
getting ahead of the announcer, and I don't want to throw myself off.
Number 2, Sam Welsh.
Then we have number 4, a sophomore, Silas Wheeler.
Silas Wheeler.
And number 7, a senior, Parker Reed.
7, Reed Parker.
He got that backwards. He said his name backwards. And number 9, we have Gus Mosman.
Gus Mosman.
Number 10, a senior, Nico Loham.
Go Loham.
Number 17, McLean Hellier, also a senior this year.
Number 19.
Number 19, a senior for the Tigers, Camden Nickel. Number 33, a sophomore, Callum Wheeler. Number 37, also a sophomore, Matisse Weaver. And last but not least, a junior for the Tigers, number 46, Joe Hellier.
Cody
And the keeper today for the Tigers, Cody Elliott.
Elliott was coached by
Always fun to see him in action. Both teams are going to give each other fist bumps. Worland walking to the home team through center circle. There are no clear blue skies, but a pretty good overhang of clouds. Nothing looks too rainy or stormy out there. Lander will be starting off this contest going from left to right on your screen/radio dial. Again, this is a radio broadcast only. No video today, folks, and my apologies there. Exclusive rights have been given for video to someone else. Both teams huddling up at the 40. Warren goes ahead and takes position. Tigers break their huddle and get ready for a fight. Again, the winner of this contest will move on to the state championship game. Starting off in the center with his foot on the ball is Riley Blood. Worland running a 4-2-4, and Lander running a 2-3, and it looks like they actually split near midfield, so it's 2-3-3-2 for the Tigers. Up front we have Silas Wheeler and Parker Reed. Refs getting ready to start the time. They'll start it off. We'll start ours as well. Worland drops way back to their defense with Klinghagen. I don't want to incorrectly label someone's hair, but he might have a mullet. And if he does, it's the best Wyoming waterfall ever. Worland kind of taking their time, keeping a slow pace to start off with. They're on the near side. One of their shorter players, but he's also hard to keep track of, is Jackson Wassam. Lander gets a swipe on it, tries to take to center field. Worland will take it back. Clark drops back to Klinghagen. Wheeler will take a swipe at it. Klinghagen moves forward through center circle, now at the 45 of the Tigers. Whistles in favor of Worland. That'll bring a free kick to the 45. Klinghagen from center circle. He'll move forward. Then Clark goes to the side. Lander gets a foot on it, now down the sideline. Nickel drops back to Loham on the far side, sends it past the 40, forward to Reed. Now Gus Mosman through center circle, moving past the 50 on the far side. He gets double teamed right at the sideline. That'll go out. It's going to be called Worland ball. This time being brought in by Coulter Wyman. Wyman tosses in. Makes it into Carter Clark. Now to center circle. Rushing forward was Callum Wheeler. He sends it forward. Tries to make his way to Reed. Worland intercepts. Matisse will go down in center circle. Worland drops back to Wassam at their 30. Wassam near the side. Reed on his heels. He'll try to make it across. Silas Wheeler with the swipe. That'll get deflected off of Rodriguez. Lander trying to keep control inside Worland's 20. Now Welsh to the wing, trying to find a spot in. He'll drop that back. Goes to possession of Worland, gets booted down to the 35. Matisse Weaver takes a lob that'll send it out past the sideline on the far side. Coulter Wyman, he'll be taking that throw from the touchline. It was a good forward motion and great aggressiveness by the Tigers. Substitution for Lander. Hamilton going in for Weaver. Nice day in Cheyenne. Saw several of the teams at the mall this morning. Ironically, both that would be facing off this afternoon, the girls for Lander and the girls for Mountain View. Worland at their 15, taking their time defensively. Rodriguez to the far side with Klinghagen. Klinghagen's a taller player, and he's one that's fast. Lander will lob it back after it gets sent to the 50. Now Worland at their 25. And a fast break with Sam Welsh moving forward at the 5. Takes a shot on goal. It'll be too far to the right. It goes attended by the keeper for Worland, Cade Weber. Trying to decide if Worland's trying to preserve some energy. It seems like they're being more careful with the Tigers than they have been in previous matches. The ball's going to go downfield, gets headed by Joe Hellier, rolls off the back, now rolling to the Tiger 10. Loham will chip it out of the wing, making it Worland ball. Toss in from Clark. Lander playing hacky sack with the ball, now to the 25. Worland will take it back, drop back to the 40. A shot forward. We'll move on with Carter Clark. As it gets to the box, gets booted away by McLean Hellier. Lander forward motion through the circle. Lander keeping up a high pace to start this game. Now the 25. Moving on with Sam Welsh in the near side. Now at the flank. He'll do a slow chip, goes over to Reed. Reed will get tagged by Wassam. Gets booted finally out past the sideline. Lander ball. Substitution in for the Tigers. We have Matisse Weaver heading in for Ben Hamilton. "35 minutes, 46 seconds to go. I don't know why my clock got out of sync. We started at the same time. Toss in from Reed, ends up in the wing with Silas Wheeler. He's there meeting Wassam. Drops back to Reed. Will go up in the air from Worland. Trying to get a fast break on it. Doesn't go uncovered by Lander. Matisse Weaver meeting him at the 45. He gets a foot on it. Worland still pursuing down the sideline. They're going to call it out. The crowd is reiterating that it was out. The ball now from the side, being tossed in this time by Jory Anderson. Worland trying to move past the 25. Looks like Reed will get caught up with another player, yielding a foul. That penalty looks like was committed on Venable. Rodriguez will take the free. It's not inside the penalty box, it's about the 25. He'll take a lob that goes just in front. It's going to be bounced away by Weaver. It goes out past the end line. Gives a corner kick to Worland. Anderson will take it from the corner, it looks like is the plan. I like that's actually Court Gonzalez. I only saw the 4. Gonzalez puts his hand up. Makes a run for the ball. Places the kick on the far side of Lander's box. Callan Wheeler getting the first hit on it, moving it forward to the 20. Silas Wheeler now moving forward to Welsh at the 35. Sam Welsh getting tripped up. It looked interesting to me, but maybe it was just a really good swipe by Klinghagen. He'll turn it around. A lot of back and forth now in the defensive third of the Tigers. Worland looking to find the back of the net. Tigers giving up one heck of a fight. Worland went to make a shot from the far wing that went into the side of the goal. He had heavy coverage by the Tigers. Now a goal kick coming out for the Tigers, this time being taken by Matisse Weaver. Weaver will send it to about the 45, going unattended. Joe Hellier now down on the sideline. Moving forward to Silas Wheeler. Now Gus Mosman, he'll trip on the ball. He'll fall about the Worland 35. Lander gets it back. Hellier working with Mosman to get it down the side. Worland will take it mid-dribble. That coming in from Gonzalez. They'll lob it to the Lander 40. There to meet it is Callum Wheeler. A swipe at the 50 coming from Anderson gives Worland forward motion. Lander trying to get it back. Anderson drops back to Wassam. He'll take it to midfield, meeting up with Rodriguez. Rodriguez drops back to Clark. Now forward. Welsh covering. That'll roll inside the box. Cody Elliott coming out to track it down. It'll roll out past the end line. Lander goal kick. This gives me a second to reset our clock here. There we go. Just under 32 minutes to go in this first half of the contest. So far, no scores. There was some body contact between Callum Wheeler and one of the Warriors. Refs will call it clean. Ball now in the wing of the Tigers. They'll get a boot going to the 50 from Callum Wheeler. Parker Reed will try to keep the ball in bounds. It'll get shot into the stands. Wassam looking for the ball from the touchline. Worland gearing up for a substitution. Schneider will go in. He'll go in place of Riley Blood. Nice crowd for both teams at the stadium today here at Cheyenne South. Wassam from the side gets chested and back to Wassam. Out on Gus Mosman. Worland ball. Wassam now coming out from the Worland 45, tosses in, gets headed by Reed forward. Mosman able to keep it in the air, sends it to Silas Wheeler. He'll take it with a knee, gets swiped away, that time by Rodriguez. Rodriguez forward, past the 35, now 30. He meets up with McLean Hellier at the 15, trying to make a break into it. Worland inside the danger zone, gets booted away by Callum Wheeler. Worland starting to put on the pressure inside the 18. They'll move back to the far sideline and out. It'll be Lander ball. Woham will give it a toss to Wheeler. He'll take it in from the touchline. That throw goes to about the 40, meets the chest of Silas Wheeler. He'll work down the side. Ball will go to the defenders of Worland. Klinghagen moving forward. He does a drop back, meeting up with Rodriguez. He sends to the side. Now Anderson at the 40. Worland making use of passes. Now yesterday when I saw them face off against Rollins, they were a little more fast-paced when it came to running. A well-placed shot goes inside the box, gets booted away by McLean Hellier. Not today. Another attempt by Worland to move forward gets booted out past the sideline by Parker Reed. It's now Worland ball from the Worland 45, tosses into Klinghagen on the far side. He'll make a pass past Silas Wheeler. Some back and forth near the 35. Silas Wheeler keeps the ball in bounds, tries to get a swipe away from Worland. Heavy coverage coming from Coulter Wyman. It's Lander ball from the 35. A toss into Gus Mosman. Whistles. They'll say take two. This time Hellier tosses into Loham. He tosses it back in the Lander side of the field. From the Lander 15, Loham sends forward to Matisse Weaver. He'll punch that forward to Parker Reed. Forward motion by Lander past the 50. Matisse Weaver getting a chance to read it out. He'll lob to the opposite side of the field. Keeping it in bounds is Lander. Now in the wing of Worland Warriors. Sam Walsh tries to get it through the defense for Worland. Gets swiped by Rodriguez mid-pass. Still at the Worland 20. Gets a big old kick from Klinghagen that goes to the 50 and out. Lander ball. About 28 minutes left to go in this contest, or the first half of this contest, I should say. I want to thank you for joining us so far. The ball now getting kicked high up into the air and to the Lander 20. There to meet it is the Hellier brothers, both Callum and McLean. Or excuse me, not, oh my goodness, not the Hellier brothers. It was, there's too many brothers on the field is the problem. We have Callum Wheeler and McLean Hellier there to meet up with that. Stops that forward motion by Worland. Lander with a swipe mid-pass by Mosman. Tries to send it to center circle. Meets up with Rodriguez of the Warriors. Lander gets it back. Sends it down the 45. Gets lobbed forward by Matisse Weaver. Looks like that was intended to be walked back to the keeper. Now in possession is Weber for Worland. He'll run it to the edge of the box. Kick forward. Lands at the Lander 40. Bounces forward another 10 yards. Gets a big old lob by Matisse Weaver. That lands on Wassam at the 45 of the Worland side of the field. Back to center circle. Silas Wheeler trying to make a pass. He swipes it away from Worland, able to get it out from in front of, looks like Carter Clark. Lander moving forward, Gus Mosen rushing to the far wing. He is attended. He'll try to make it off. Takes the shot on goal instead. That'll go off of Coulter Wyman and out of bounds. Substitutions in for the Tigers. We have Ben Hamilton to the field, as well as Kellen Donahue. Donahue going in for Silas Wheeler, and Hamilton in for Parker Reed. It'll be a toss in by Joe Hellier. That'll be just about the 10-yard line. Gets headed. And headed again by Anderson for Worland. Drops back to the 30. Loham in possession. He'll take it back further. Goes to McLean Hellier. He'll take it forward. Rodriguez getting slippery. Tripping up Kellen Donahue. A chip by Camden Nickel goes into the wing of the Warriors. Donahue able to shoot it back. Looks like it'll be called out past the end line. Goal kick for Worland. The crowds below me start a chant for Worland. It looks like the majority of Lander fans are on the opposite side of the stadium. Wassam at the Worland 20. He'll move forward to the 40 with Anderson. Now from the side, forward motion gets shut down by McLean Hellier. Chipped back to the 50, meets the head of Wassam. That'll go out past the sideline, making it a Lander ball. McLean Hellier from the 40. Tosses in, meets Matisse Weaver. Bumping into him was Court Gonzalez. It sends Weaver to the ground. Lander now making it inside the box. There to meet up. He comes out to narrow down the angles. Catches the ball as Weber for Worland. I have to say both teams holding their own in this contest today. Donahue covering on top of Rodriguez right now at the Worland 40. Rodriguez drops back to Wassam, who will drop back to Klinghagen in zigzag fashion. Klinghagen chips it forward, meets up with the leg of Callum Wheeler. That goes forward. Hamilton will try to keep it in bounds. Out on Lander. Worland ball with Wassam. He tosses into Anderson, who's making his way down the near sideline. Now at the 30. Looks like that might have gone out, but instead, Lander gets a foot on it. Drops back to Callum Wheeler, who chips forward to Donahue. He chests it. Out of bounds. Good throw in by Anderson. Ball's going to roll out of the wing of the Tigers. They'll call it Lander ball. Looks like it'll be from the touch line with McLean Hellier. Hellier tosses into the 30. Sam Welsh there to meet it. He meets the wall that is Rodriguez. Moving forward with Anderson for Worland. He goes to center field. Meets up with Clark, who will drop back. On the far side, Wyman. Hellier gets a swipe. Joe Hellier moving it forward for the Tigers. Worland will take it back. Lobs forward down the sideline, taking that lob. Looks like there is not a 14 on there. Okay, well, I can't tell you who that player was, but 14 for the Worland Warriors sent it down the sideline. Hellier getting in a gridlock along with Gonzalez. Worland still in possession of the ball on the far side of the field near the 30. They'll drop back to the 50, trying to reset with Klinghagen. He'll send left, moving forward with Rodriguez. Worland will give it a flea flicker, gives it to the near sideline. McLean Hellier chips it out of bounds. Releases the pressure for now from the Worland Warriors. About 22 minutes left to go in the first half of play. So far, zeros on the scoreboard. But a great match to watch if you're in the Cheyenne area. So if you are, head on down to South High School. A lob by Weaver will go downfield. Racing forward is Donahue. Donahue will get tripped up. Rodriguez will go down. It looks like maybe the Lander bench was looking for a penalty call. Welsh now taking control at the Worland 30. He moves down center field, takes it left to the sideline. A chip back and forth by Nickel will get turned around by Klinghagen. Worland now moving inside the Lander 20. Gets chipped away by Callum Wheeler. He sends it high up into the air, meeting the head of a Worland Warrior at the 40-yard line for the other half of the field. A swipe away by Ben Hamilton. It collides both players, and both are on the ground between Anderson and Hamilton. They're going to stop the time. Time will stop at 21 minutes, 15 seconds. We'll get that reset for you. Both teams have their coaches out there checking on the player. Lander will regroup on their side of the circle. Couldn't tell if they knocked heads. If nothing else, they may have knocked the wind out of each other. Aside from that, we're not going to speculate. Looks like the substitution for Worland will be Mac Page. Anderson for the Worland Warriors will get up. He'll walk it off the field. They're still checking out Hamilton. Parker Reed will go in, as well as Page for the Warriors. Now, as a reminder, I won't speculate too much on the injury on the field. We're letting him get up. Which I have to say, Worland Warriors crowd, both sides of the field, clapping for Hamilton getting up. He'll be helped off the field by the assistant coach and coach for Lander. As a side note, we are not broadcasting video today. If you were one of the folks that asked about that on WYO Today last night, it's due to an exclusive broadcast contract that was signed between the WHSAA and the NFHS, which is owned by an out-of-state company called Play On Sports in Georgia. So as a heads up, that is why we're not broadcasting that. So my apologies there. Timers have started again. About 21 minutes left in the first half of play. And folks, as soon as I'm able to broadcast video again, it's only for, there's going to be an out called. It's going to be Lander ball at the 40. As soon as I'm able to broadcast video again, I will, and absolutely love doing that part of the broadcast too. Worland trying to move forward past the Lander 40. A kick forward gets turned around by Callum Wheeler. Worland forward movement stopped by Weaver this time. Gets chipped away from the Lander 15. Klinghagen and Donahue in center circle. That'll go back to Reed. Reed now forward past the Lander 40. He goes covered in the circle, passes forward to Camden Nickel on the far side. Nickel moves forward. He'll place it with Sam Welsh. He'll get covered by Rodriguez and out past the end line. That means a corner kick for the Tigers. An elated Lander bench is stoked about that opportunity. It's going to be Mosman from the far corner. He lobs to the center of the box. That'll get headed away by Worland. Joe Hellier there to save it and send it back to the 15. Now Nickel on the near side of the field. Sends just in front of the goal. Gets shot away by Worland. McLean Hellier trying to get it back at the 25. Moving down the near side. McLean Hellier gets a touch on it. Weaver goes to take a kick. Ends up koala bearing one of the Worland players and goes down. Court Gonzalez there. They'll call a foul on that. And it looks like they're cool after that. They get up. They both know that they were both aiming for the ball. Rodriguez will take it from the Worland 40. I have to say, you know, there are no scores on the board so far. Rodriguez with a free kick lob that goes forward to the Lander 15. McLean Hellier now inside the box, turning it around. Although it is a scoreless game so far, this has been a fantastic match to watch. Lander now at the 50. Wassam getting covered by Reed. Wassam sends forward. It's a slow roller. Moves forward to Gonzalez. Now running along the 15. A shot on goal taken. Too much power. Goes way up and over. No good for the Worland Warriors. Substitution. Anderson coming in for Worland. He'll swap out with Carter Clark. Lander's goal kick coming out from Loham. He'll send to the far side with Joe Hellier. Now down the sideline. Meets up with Nickel. Nickel moving past the 50. He'll punch it forward, trying to meet up with Welsh. That rolls into the possession of Weber, the keeper for the Worland Warriors. A swipe away by Welsh in mid-circle will send Worland moving their defense back. And then that kick forward by Camden Nickel, a little bit much power, goes into the box, and it's cleared out by Weber. Weber returns that to the opposite side of center circle. Now at the Lander 40. It seems the announcement to not yell at athletes and oh man, now down the sideline, into the wing, no one there to meet up with it. Oh, Kellen Donahue chipped it left from the wing. And man, with a little extra pressure, Weber could have had some issues there. Rodriguez will chip it back in favor of Worland, now at the Lander 35. What did Lander eat for breakfast? Worland now trying to make it to Anderson. Goes past Anderson, now to center circle with Gus Mosman. McLean Hellier at the near side. He'll chip forward to the 15. Gets headed away by Rodriguez. Reed keeps it under control. Gets booted away by Rodriguez. This time now past the 50. Matisse Weaver taking it through center circle. Lander trying again. Klinghagen gives it a hacky sack style kick. Goes out past the near sideline at the Lander 45. McLean Hellier tosses in. Tries to get to Parker Reed. Goes to Donahue at the 15. He gets double teamed. Wassam will deflect it off a fellow Warrior. Lander keeping the pressure up inside the defensive third of the Worland Warriors. Klinghagen at the 15. He'll turn it around, punch it forward to the 40. Getting a stop on it was Joe Hellier. Worland able to get it back after that. Great disruption of movement. The ball's now rolling past the Lander 10 on the near side of the wing. Now to the corner. Cole Venable. Venable tries to send forward. Getting a touch on that was Callum Wheeler. Goes to Mosman. Now Reed in the corner. McLean Hellier gives it a punch shot. Goes to center circle. There to meet it is Rodriguez. Rodriguez with expert dribbling gets picked off by Loham. Loham moving forward through center circle past the 50. He meets up with Klinghagen. He goes past Klinghagen. Sends it forward, meeting up with Matisse Weaver inside the box. And a sliding save by Weber. They're going to call a penalty. And a yellow card against Matisse Weaver. Looks like there's 2 Worland Warriors on the ground. Looks like in that whole process, that was a fast break by Matisse Weaver. He lost his headband. There's still 1 player on the turf, Coulter Wyman. Officials will go out to check on him. I do need to stop our timer. We'll reset that as well. Current score 0-0 here from Cheyenne South High School. A close match and a very high intensity one. That movement, whew, it was a goosebumps moment, folks. The clock has stopped at 14:59. Lander all standing in center circle. Worland will move away from the injured player and go to meet on their own. I'll invite you to join us for the halftime show. Applause comes from the audience of both sides. Coulter Wyman being helped off the field. Worland will come just in front of their bench, still on their side of the field. They'll enjoy a water break. Lander stays set up. Riley Blood will go into the field, I'm assuming for the injured player. Join us for the halftime show. If there has been a score by then, we will recap those. High energy coming from the Lander bench. You can see one of the assistant coaches, Derek Pyle, clapping on and giving some encouraging words to the Tigers. One of the coaches meeting with just about every player on his way out. Now that all of the Worland officials are off the field, they can resume play as soon as the ref blows the whistle. There'll be a goal kick. Actually, it looks like that might be a free kick coming from Worland, since that was the place of the penalty. Play will resume. Rodriguez taking the kick out. The booming kick lands at about the 40 of Lander's side of the field, gets headed after a bounce by Joe Hellier forward. Down the sideline with Kellen Donahue. He'll drop back to Hellier. Hellier chips forward. That lands at about the 15, bounces into the box for the Worland Warriors. Picking that up is Weber. Weber gives that a giant kick that lands at the Lander 25. Lander able to get their foot on it, drops back past the 50 and to Wassam. Wassam down the sideline. He sends it to Gonzalez. Gonzalez dances around the 50, chips it forward, meeting up with Joe Hellier. Nickel at the side does a wild, wild kick. He dropped to his hands and was able to keep the ball in bounds after kicking it. Substitution in for the Worland Warriors. To the field, we see Dawson Rogers in place of Mac Page. "13 minutes, 50 seconds to go. The ball now in the center third of the field gets sent forward by Klinghong and picked off by Silas Wheeler. Wheeler moves forward, meets up with Reed. Reed will chip forward to Donahue. As he tries to stop the ball from getting away from him, it bops back, gets taken away by Anderson, sent to about the 30-yard line of the Tigers. Rogers tries to send forward, gets stopped by Callum Wheeler, now with heavy coverage from Loham too. Silas Wheeler sends forward. Looks like that could have been a penalty, but the refs are a little closer than I am. Gus Mosman, with the help of a screen by Parker Reed, will help move the ball forward with McLean Hellier. Reed sends down the sideline. Stopping that is Wassam. Gonzalez sends forward. Stopping that is Callum Wheeler. Send it to the opposite side of the field, meeting up with Rodriguez at the 35, and he'll move forward. Blood at the far side. The person, not the noun. That could sound risky. A swipe at center field will send the Lander Tigers moving forward inside the defensive third of Worland. A pass to Reed at the near side. He'll take it to center with Silas Wheeler. Gets booted away by Klinghagen. A whistle will be blown. I couldn't tell if that was inside the box or not. Rodriguez will try to explain himself. Looks like a free kick. Ref having Loham move forward a bit. He'll be just on the outside of the arch that's at the tip of the box. So it looks like Mosman and Loham both standing like they either could go for the ball. Reed's gonna hang back in the near corner. The rest of the players grouped on the far corner. If they send it to Reed, it could go unmarked. A toss left goes to Welsh. Rolls up and over one of the Worland Warriors. It's a corner kick for the Tigers. Lander positioning themselves inside the danger zone. Gus Mosman gears up at far corner. Arm goes up, kicks it forward, hits the head of Klinghagen, bounces out to the Worland 20. Now at the side, goes out on Worland, bringing it back in is Camden Nickel. He'll toss in to Silas Wheeler, now at the wing. Wheeler shoots forward, meets up with Donahue, takes the shot on goal, and he gets palmed away by Weber. That was phenomenal placement by Lander, gets palmed away and out past the end line. Take two for the Tigers from the corner. 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Mosman will take it in from the corner, gives a soft pass forward to Welsh. Welsh goes marked. That mark will get tripped up. Looks like a penalty called on Lander. Rodriguez with the free kick. McLean Hellier will field that at the 45 of Lander. Anderson at the 45. Reed gets a swipe, goes through the legs of Anderson, gets turned around yet again by Cole Venable. Worland moving forward. Gus Mosman there to cover. Looks like Mosman, it didn't look like it was on purpose, but got a leg in the middle of the stride of one of the Worland Warriors, sending Sanford to the ground. That's a free kick. Now, Worland does this thing. We've talked about this every match that they've played, where if they have a free kick or a penalty kick, or if they have the opportunity to try to confuse, they will. Lander has a wall of three in front of the free kick. They send to the wing, now with Rodriguez. Reed goes to cover. Getting a touch on it is McLean Hellier, and a shot on goal taken up. Too much power and out past the end line with Rudy Sanford. Substitutions going in for the Lander Tigers. We have, I lied, we only have one substitution. Matisse Weaver in for Kellen Donahue, who's done a phenomenal job this round. In for Worland. Coming to the field is Carter Clark for Dawson Rogers. 8 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Goal kick out from Loham. Loham takes it to about the 45. Worland getting the first touch on it, moving down the sideline, turned around by Joe Hellier. That kick will land at the 30. Silas Wheeler there to cover Klinghagen. There is a serious height difference, but Wheeler's proving effective. Now down the side with Camden Nickel, meeting up with Riley Blood. Blood will take it out past the sideline, Lander ball. from the touchline on the far side. Nickel tosses in. Some back and forth. Sends it to the 20 with Mosman. Now to Weaver. He'll take it forward. Gets picked off mid-pass by Klinghagen. McLean Hellier chips it into the air. Worland able to get a touch on it. Silas Wheeler turning it around. Now it's Reed versus Gonzalez. Reed did a good job there of trying to, and a fast break from Worland. We'll continue there in a minute. Worland now moving down the near side, meeting up with Callum Wheeler. He'll get tripped up. Next tripping up is Gus Mosman. Worland keeping up the pressure inside the box. Whistles will be called on Mosman. I believe that gives a penalty kick to Worland. That's a shame because there was some, I'm not going to say that any of the calls were wrong, but there was some extremely rough play there, and then the one on Lander got called immediately after. But like I said, the refs are much, much closer than I am. It's going to be 1v1. Cody Elliott up against Cole Venable. Venable having an extremely high shot ratio. Cody Elliott, in my personal opinion, can be one of the best. Oh, I forgot to stop the timer. It is 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Shot goes in from Venable. Elliott went the wrong direction, taking this a 1-0 ball game in favor of Worland. Elliott visibly upset, and sometimes you just read him wrong, and Venable's one of those that's, he's tricky to read. Lander now looking to even up the board. I have to say, this is a visible change. Lander starting off the ball, and our timer as well. 6 minutes, 31 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now Parker Reed, now the near side. He'll take it at the 35, back to Mosman. Reed forward to center field with Silas Wheeler. Getting a chip on it is Rodriguez. Worland progressing to the 20. Lander keeping it in bounds. A high up kick from Weaver will go out onto the track. Worland ball at the Lander 40. Wassam tosses in quickly to Anderson. He gets covered by Reed and Mosman. Now making his way to center field, gets chipped away by Loham. Now to the 40 with Silas Wheeler. I believe that was a, they'll call that on Worland, or excuse me, they'll call that on Lander. I thought that was a high kick on Rodriguez's half, but apparently they called the foul, I think, on Wheeler. 1-0 in favor of Worland. Just over 5 minutes to go in this part of the contest. We'll have one more half of play after the halftime show. And folks, if this continues to be a close match as we get to the end of this one, we will keep it here, and we'll start the next game in progress for the Lady Tigers. Free kick by Rodriguez goes to the Lander defensive line, gets chipped up into the air, returned to the 45. Anderson now for Worland, drops back to Rodriguez. He'll send forward to the far side of the field. There to meet up and disrupt that play was Hellier. Rodriguez with another swipe mid-pass. Loham will chip it up into the air, going to about the 50, meeting up with Silas Wheeler. Wheeler goes to the far side with Nickel. Nickel chips across field, meets up with Parker Reed at the 40. They're keeping a lot of the play up into the air. That'll go off of Weaver and the wrong direction for the Tigers. Now going to the 15, gets chipped out of the side, the near side that is, by Callum Wheeler. Your Lander Tigers holding their own today against the Worland Warriors. Wassam will send forward for Worland, now at the Lander 15. Inside the box, unguarded, coming forward is Callum Wheeler with the slide tackle, shuts down the forward progression from Worland. Silas Wheeler now at the 35, gets picked off by Rodriguez. Looks like the Lander bench was looking for a call on that. Now forward motion by Lander. Nickel on the far side. They will call a penalty. Three minutes, 33 seconds to go. Penalty was on Worland, giving a free kick to Lander. It looks like one of the players, and they're talking with the ref right now, it seems like one of the players may have pulled on Nickel's jersey. He talked to both players. Most of the players on the field are set up directly in front of Worland's goal. Loham will take the kick from the 45. He's setting up now, whistles. That will continue on. Meeting up with Silas Wheeler near the 15, gets headed away by Worland. Sam Welsh at the 25. He'll send a head to it. And whistles against Worland as Sam Welsh went to jump and bop it with his head. It looks like Cole Venable also went up, yielding a foul against Worland. Matisse Weaver at the 25 with a free kick. He'll set up. He's got two body blocks. He'll send up and over, tries to meet the head of Mosman, now near the end line with Nickel. Worland trying to move forward. They'll send it out past the far sideline, out on Worland. It's now Joe Hellier ball. He tosses in, meets up with Loham. A drop back to Hellier, gets sent forward, trying to meet up with Silas Wheeler. He goes against Klinghagen. As Klinghagen jumped, Silas deferred. He's a little, Klinghagen's by far the tallest player on the pitch today. Worland working around the 15 of Lander. Trying to move forward, gets booted away by McLean Hellier. 1 minute, 44 seconds to go. One score on the board in favor of Worland. Sam Welsh moving forward. Riley Blood will lob that away. Shuts down the forward motion of the Tigers. Ball will roll into the wing, out of bounds. Lander ball. Loham from the touchline. Goes forward to Joe Hellier on the far side. That gets chipped out of bounds by Carter Clark. Lander ball. It's going to be Hellier from the Lander 25. His toss goes a little higher. Off the head of Venable. Now in no man's land at the near side of the field at the 45. Silas Wheeler will set up, sends forward to Parker Reed at the Worland 45. Gets chipped away by Rodriguez, meets the chest of Loham. Could have been tricky there to meet up at the ball with Snyder, if not for Loham. And a steal away by Welsh will move through center circle. Welsh will get tripped up. And it looks like the ref will say, looks pretty even to me. They both stand up. Ball up in the air, meets the chest of Callum Wheeler at the 25 of Lander. Now back through center circle. Worland chips to the far wing. Cody Elliott grabs it from the sky, removing the pressure from the Lander box. No good for Worland. That is the horn, folks, meaning that the first half of play has come to an end. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the halftime show. We need to chat. This is an exciting match, folks. So if you're in the Cheyenne area and have a chance to come watch this, highly recommend. If not, join us here for the halftime show after these messages.
When you're looking for a great deal on a new or used car or truck, think Fremont Toyota. Shop over 1,000 vehicles from 12 manufacturers you know and love. Plus, they give you their best price up front, so you can be sure you're getting the best deal possible. And their state-of-the-art service facilities and expert technicians come with their 1-year hassle-free maintenance plan with all new vehicles. Fremont Toyota, they're your friends and neighbors and proud to sponsor Lander Valley High School soccer. 103 Fremont Way in Lander. Visit FremontToyotaLander.com. Go Tigers!
Looking to get back in the game this year? Avoid the rush by scheduling sports physicals now at Lander Medical Clinic. Sports physicals start after May 1st and are an important part of youth wellness exams. Preventative health took a backseat to COVID this past year, and Lander Medical Clinic wants to get teens back in the door for their wellness and sports physicals. Schedule your child's wellness and sports physical exam in May, June, or July by calling 332-2941. Lander Medical Clinic.
I'm Sarah Penn. Go Tigers!
I'm Dr. Forbes. Go Tigers!
I'm Nate.
And I'm Billy.
Go Tigers!
Hello and welcome back here to Cheyenne South High School. And folks, huge thanks to Ernie Over. I didn't even look at the opposing team's name. I changed it on the pregame, but not on our scoreboard, so I will fix that really quick. As a side note, you can take a look at the claim on the upper left-hand part of your screen if you're watching on WYO Today. We are unable to broadcast video during this contest, which, man, I would absolutely love to do that, but we cannot today, so it is just a traditional radio broadcast today. So I want to thank you for joining us. And meanwhile, we'll get the other change. Now, so far, it's a 1-0 contest. This has been a fantastic match to watch, folks. So if you're in the Cheyenne area, highly recommend coming down to watch. Oh, man. There were parts that gave me goosebumps. Now, the one score that did come out of this first half of play came off of Venable. Now, the Worland Warriors were able to get a penalty kick, 1v1, Venable versus Elliott. Venable came out on top. So, meanwhile, we'll fix the rest of this here for this part of the contest. All right. Da-da-da. Here we go. All right. And Worland. There we go. We're set up now, folks. All right. So this contest will continue with another 40 minutes of play. And I talked about this at the beginning of the game, but if you've joined in progress, here's the plan. Because the girls start at 4, and it's currently 2:49. If it stays within 2 points, we'll probably stay here and we'll start the girls' game in progress. Some broadcasters have to choose, and I didn't want to, so we're going to do both. And if this is an upset, this is one I certainly would love to cover. So thank you so much for joining us. My apologies about the lack of video broadcasts, but since there is an exclusive broadcast contract with NFHS via Play On Sports, which is this company out of Georgia, local broadcasters are unable to provide that service. So here's to hoping that changes, but until then, we will be carrying it via radio broadcast, and we're hoping to cover all of the matches tomorrow as well. Now, if the boys win this contest against Worland, they will go on to the state championship game, all right? So let's take a look at the bracket here. See if it'll like me this time. There we go. Okay, so here's the deal. We're playing Worland today. The championship game tomorrow is at 3 o'clock. If things don't go as well for the Tigers today, they will play in, it looks, the third place game, which will take place at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Now, the other option of who they could play, they will either play Powell or Torrington tomorrow, depending on how things play out in the bracket. All right. Well, let's recognize some more of our great local sponsors. And folks, I have to point this out, and I'm trying not to beat a dead horse, but we had a lot of questions on our Facebook pages yesterday about the video streaming and whatnot, but our sponsors are the reason that this is free to you. They are great local businesses. They shop local. They keep it local, and I appreciate that on my side as well. So thank you for tuning in, and now let's appreciate some of those sponsors.
Central Wyoming College has the perfect degree to help you learn, grow, advance, and lead. The new Bachelor of Applied Science degree in Organizational Management and Leadership is the perfect degree to earn during a pandemic. There's 3 ways to learn: online learning, virtual learning, and in-person learning. Whether you have some credits or no credits, you can earn a bachelor's degree at CWC and have the competitive edge for employment. Go to www.cwc.edu/leadtheway.
Does your car seem like it's feeling a little under the weather? Doesn't have that same get up and go or struggles to start in the mornings? Visit Lander Napa at 391 Main Street. Rick and the crew will help you get that car feeling brand new. They know the right parts and have the experience and Napa know-how to set you up for success on your repair job. So come see Rick and the team at 391 Main Street in Lander. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 8 to 5, and Sunday, 10 to 3. Lander, Napa. Man, I'm hungry, but nothing sounds good, and I don't feel like cooking.
Let's go to Molino Italian Bistro. I've been dying to try their house-made pastas, spaghetti, linguine, fettuccine.
Okay, I'm in.
Ooh, and their chicken parmesan with zucchini noodles, seared beef tenderloin.
You had me at.
White truffle risotto, crab dip.
Sounds good, let's
Truffle fries, calamari. Hey, where are you going?
To Molino. Are you coming or what? Molino Italian Bistro. Sophisticated yet relaxed. Handmade fresh daily. 129 Main Street, Lander. Get a free appetizer with a dinner order for two, Tuesday through Thursdays, now through April 8th.
The Maven B2, a unique optic for those who demand superior low-light performance. The B2 features an abaconic prism and an ocular-filled flattener specifically designed to handle dimly lit situations. Paired with extra low dispersion ED glass and fully multi-coated lenses, this premium optic produces clear, bright, and tack-sharp images. Experience the full-size B2 7x45, 9x45, and 11x45 binocular and discover what you've been missing.
Lander Labs is here to keep our Wyoming community strong. With the power of true science and innovative testing, Lander Labs can help you navigate COVID-19 in several ways. COVID tests are available to anyone. Travel tests are available and can give you the results same day or in up to 48 hours. If you can't afford a test, Lander Labs received a grant from the Lander Community Foundation offering free testing to those who qualify. After you get your COVID shot, antibody tests can be used to ensure your vaccine is protecting you the way it was intended.
Lander Labs, keeping Wyoming strong.
Attending college at Central Wyoming College's Alpine Science Institute is the perfect place to be during a pandemic. You can live in a cabin and be socially distanced in the beautiful foothills of the Wind River Mountains. The Alpine Science Institute is a multi-use educational and recreational center for degrees in outdoor education, outdoor recreation, environmental science, anthropology, and expedition science. Don't let a pandemic stop you from pursuing a degree that is full of adventure. Go to www.cwc.edu/alpinescience and make your way.
Central Bank and Trust is a proud supporter of Lander Valley Soccer. With 3 branches in Fremont County, their mission is to help develop Wyoming communities with Wyoming values. From opening your first checking account to taking out a loan for a new business venture, Central Bank and Trust is your local bank and lender. Central Bank and Trust brings top-of-the-line technologies to their customers with chipped debit cards, mobile deposit, QuickBooks integration for businesses, online bill pay, and more. Central Bank and Trust. It's more than a bank, it's a community. Visit centralbankandtrust.com. Good luck and go Tigers.
And welcome back to Cheyenne South High School. Hey folks, thanks to those of you who shot me a message to change Riverton to Worland. My apologies. Once we got started, it was, man, it's been a fantastic start to this match against Worland for the Lander Valley Tigers. Now, this is writing a much different narrative than in previous games against the Warriors. So I'm beyond elated to call this second half of the game. In about 40 seconds, we'll get started again. In this half of play, just so we keep things straight, we will be moving Lander, that is, sorry for the we. Lander will be moving from right to left on your imaginary radio dial, and Worland from left to right. So far, a 1-0 ball game in favor of Worland. That came via penalty kick with Cole Venable, who now, instead of 36, has 37 shots this season. I was chatting with the sports commentator for Worland yesterday, and in his words, not mine, he said that the boys are good and they know it. And I am stoked to see this performance, and it's a great match overall. If you like soccer, this is something you want to see today. Lander getting started off, moving forward to the Worland 30. Meets up with Schneider. Schneider working alongside Clark down the near sideline, now inside the 30. And a swipe mid pass by McLean Hellier. He'll lob that forward. Goes into possession of Rodriguez at the Worland 40. Reed with heavy coverage that moves forward. Now Rodriguez, shoots over to the side with Blood, now at the 50. Worland possession. Blood at the 50, meets up with Nicole. Not Nicole, Nickel, sorry. Looked like it could have been a break for the Tigers. That went out past the near sideline. Now from the 45 with Riley Blood. He tosses forward, bounces to the 20, meets up with Loham. Now Nickel forward. Center circle with Sam Welsh. Welsh meeting a wall of Warriors. Rodriguez gets a foot on it, changes direction. Back past the center third. Worland making use of their passes. Meets up with Callum Wheeler at the Lander 20. He deflects that forward. Reed at the far side, shoots forward to center circle. Taken over by Venable. Venable goes down the near sideline, sends it to the wing of the Tigers, followed out of bounds by Joe Hellier alongside Worland's Bush. Throw in for Lander. It'll be Joe Hellier from the wing. Tosses in to Weaver. Give it a kick that goes out past the near sideline. Toss in from Blood. Loham now assisting the ball on the wing. Watches it fall out of bounds. Wassa makes an attempt on it. It'll be a goal kick for Lander. About 37 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Seeing an extra ball on the field. Loham kicks that off. The goal kick coming out from Cody Elliott this time. Takes it to Joe Hellier on the near side. Weaver in the middle. Takes it downfield, meets the head of Klinghagen. Racing forward is Silas Wheeler and Riley Blood. Blood will tip that out past the touchline. Lander ball. Setting up for the throw-in is Nickel. Nickel tosses back to Joe Hellier. Still rocking the signature yellow cleats. Worland gets it mid-pass, starts to move forward. That gets stopped by Callum Wheeler. He gets on high alert for some of those passes that go high up in the air. His accuracy is fantastic. Callum Wheeler gets the ball again, sends it to the Worland 25. Venable drops back to Klinghagen, and forward meets up with Clark. They're working a triangle formation. That'll bounce to the Lander 40. Joe Hellier chips forward. Looking to meet up with Nickel. That'll go out past the sideline. They'll call it Worland ball. Riley Blood with the toss in. That'll bounce to the Lander 20. Goes out past the sideline from Callum Wheeler. Current score 1-0 in favor of Worland. Callum Wheeler coming across the 25 with the ball, moving forward. He jukes past Clark, now past the 50. Callum Wheeler now sensing some trouble, drops back to Joe Hellier. He'll read the field, moves forward on the near sideline. He heads left, bounces a shot off the shins of Carter Clark, able to get forward to Mosman through center circle, now on the far side of the field with Parker Reed near the 30. Looks like Wasson will go down after a kick from Mosman, goes toward the ball. No call. That toss in goes to the wing and out past the end line. Shuts down the forward progress for the Tigers. It'll yield a goal kick for the Worland Warriors. 35 minutes to go. And if you're wondering about the girls' game, we will be carrying that depending on how the end of this game shapes up. If it continues to be a close match, it's one I would really like to not miss. The girls are playing Mountain View at 4. They are teams that they have beat twice before. Fingers crossed for the Tigers, that is. I promise, though, as we call the game, it will be an unbiased call. Lander now moving forward past the 15, and a sliding save by Weber shuts down the progress from Lander from Wheeler. That was from Silas Wheeler that time. Both brothers are on the field. That goal kick comes out to the Lander 35, turned around by Joe Hellier. Nickel working down the sideline. It's taken away by Worland. Lander ball with Joe Hellier. He tosses into Nickel. Venable meets up with Nickel on the side. That'll go out of bounds. Lander ball. I lied. It's actually, it looks like Worland ball, tossed in by Riley Blood. Meets the head of Joe Hellier. Goes to the Lander 15. Callum Wheeler trying to take control after the 15. Sends forward. Goes out past the side. A lot of back and forth between these two teams this round. It'll be Worland ball from the touchline on the near side at the Lander 25. Blood scopes it out. Gives it a toss to the 10, meets the head of Matisse Weaver, who sends it forward to the 25. Now on the far side of the field with Worland. Wassam. Wassam trying to get past Parker Reed, but not going uncovered. Reed will try to keep it from going out on the Tigers. Drops back to McLean Hellier. He'll chip forward now with Rodriguez at the 40. Rodriguez shoots it over to Carter Clark. He'll take a shot on goal too far to the left. That'll go attended by Cody Elliott. Loham gearing up for the goal kick. Goal kick for Loham goes out past the 50, lands at about the 43-yard line, meets up with Silas Wheeler, gets chipped back by Rodriguez. Lander makes a lot of use of, I want to say, aerial play. It'll be called Lander ball. Hey man, the ref is a lot closer than I am. That's what I'm going to just keep going to. It's going to be called Lander ball. Gets sent downfield from the free kick with Weaver. Trying to meet up with it was Nickel. Gets picked up by Weber, the keeper for Worland, and sent with a booming kick back down to the Lander 25. It hits the Worland keeper, and it's almost like hitting a reset button. He sends it back to the other side of the field, and Lander's trying to squeeze it past. Parker Reed on the far side goes covered. Anderson looks like he trips up Reed. That'll be called a penalty. That infraction against Worland. Matisse Weaver now taking the free kick from the Worland 35. 31 minutes, 33 seconds to go. Weaver sends forward inside the box, bounces off of Klinghagen. Loham drops back to Weaver. It'll get stolen from in front of Weaver, but it goes unassisted. Goes to Loham in mid-circle, then Joe Hellier at the side. Joe will get a bop on it, sends it forward to Nickel, and drops back. Now coming forward is Rudy Sanford for Worland. That was one of those that was very close and could have been called offside if they wanted to. I have to say, in this tournament so far, the calls have been very tight. It's now Worland tossing in from the Lander 13. They will toss to the wing, covered by Nickel and Joe Hellier. Getting swiped between the legs of Sanford. They'll go out of bounds on Nickel. Worland ball, they toss back to the 50 to Klinghagen. Don't want to give him too much room. He's a fairly fast player, and then, and he just plows over Sam Welsh. To me, that looked a little suspicious, but that'll be called a no penalty. Well, that evens it out a bit, I guess. And then something similar just happened against Worland, and it looks like it was called as an advantage. It'll be a penalty, it looks like, against Weaver, and he tries to explain himself to the ref. Some discussion going on. This gives another penalty shot to the Warriors, already up by 1 from the first penalty shot. Coach Schaff holding up his arms on the side. The assistant coach is also not looking too pleased. There'll be a 1v1 with Venable. Koshoff shakes his head. It's Venable versus Elliott. Venable goes forward, takes the shot, and it's good. Getting past Elliott and into the back of the net, making this a 2-1 ball game. My apologies on the clock. We'll get that reset, 29:46. That's a tough one to digest. I think tensions are extra high as well because it is such a close match, and this is what takes you to the championship game. Clocks will start again, 29:45 to go. Matisse Weaver through center circle to Silas Wheeler. Makes it to Sam Welsh. He'll move past the 25 in Worland territory. Now to the wing, goes heavy coverage. That coming from Blood as well as from Court Gonzalez. It's going to be a corner kick for Lander. A boot from Welsh goes inside the box. Goes out past the end line. That'll be called a Worland ball. Going in via goal kick. Weber takes his own kick out, meets up with the back of Anderson. Looks like he wasn't expecting it. Silas Wheeler takes over at the far side at the 20. Worland gets a swipe, goes down the far sideline, now at the 50. Getting covered by Mosman. We'll get stopped up at the 35. Silas Wheeler gets a foot on it. Gus will finish the swipe. Sends to Matisse Weaver. He'll take it forward, meets up with Wassam at the Worland 35. Now to Gonzalez and Klinghagen on the defense. Klinghagen sends forward. It's going to be a trip called. It's going to be against Lander. Looks like the ref might talk to Weaver. He'll set up. Rodriguez looking to take the free kick from the 35. There's a 4-person block waiting in front of Rodriguez. He'll lob it to the box, gets headed away. Now at the Lander 20. Sam Welsh there to meet it. Looks like a little bit of rough contact coming from Rodriguez. Rodriguez will drop back, giving the ball to Weber. He'll opt for an immediate kick. He won't bother picking up the ball. In fact, you cannot. If your team drops back to the box, you cannot pick it up. They're going to, oh my goodness. Weaver took a tackle on the ball that sent Sanford to the ground. It looked interesting, to say the least, and the crowd was not pleased. Weaver does check on him. It looks like someone might have also lost a shin guard. Joe Hellier will pick that up for the Worland player. That was a tackle that took the Worland player off of his legs, but the ref did call it clean. Moving forward from the free kick at the Lander 45 with Loham. He'll send it cross field, meeting the head of Parker Reed, sends it inside the box. Put on pressure, but there to meet the ball was Weber. He'll send the team out. He'll roll it just in front of Rodriguez. Coming forward to meet him is Silas Wheeler trying to cover the ball. Now Klinghagen. From the 45 to the Lander 35. Worland moving forward. Now inside the box, sliding forward to swipe the ball is Cody Elliott. That was a great move by Elliott, coming forward to narrow down the angles. Silas Wheeler getting caught up with Gonzalez, changes the pace and turns the ball around at the 50. Mosman now forward. Sends to the Worland 30. Wells drops back to Mosman. And a chip forward goes off the ankle of Riley Blood and out past the sideline. Joe Hellier from the near side. They're going to pause up for a moment. Substitution. Donahue will come in for Silas Wheeler. Fun fact, I haven't gotten to say this yet, and I have to say it before the season's over. On his survey, Donahue put in that he can actually ride the unicycle. Joe Hellier from the near sideline at the 35. It'll go out on Lander. Looks like Loham was aiming to shoot it off of one of the Worland players, but he jumped out of the way just in time. Weaver now at the Lander 40. He takes it forward, gets swiped away by Anderson, and Weaver does a full-on penguin slide through center circle. Blood will send it back down the near sideline, rolling into the wing of Lander. Hellier's going to chase it out. He'll go out past the end line, goal kick. 25 minutes to go. 2-0 in favor of Worland. Both of those points coming via penalty kick, which is something different than what we've seen in matches before. Goal kick coming out from Loham. Loham sends to the far sideline, meets up with Reed. He'll chest it. Drops back to McLean Hellier, who is faced with heavy coverage and a swipe by Anderson. Callum Wheeler in the wing. Sends it down the sideline. And that'll go out, being brought back in by Worland's Wassam. A toss in at the Lander 30. Will get dropped back. Klinghagen at the 50 now. Moves forward, does a soft pass, ends up at the sideline with Riley Blood. Some back and forth, trying to play keep away with the Tigers. Now at Lander's 30, sent forward to the 20. Oh, a kick from McLean Hellier to keep the ball away. Goes into the face of, it looks like Cole Venable. We've seen a couple of those during this tournament, where someone will try to get hit on the ball and it goes immediately into someone's chin or face. Venable now near the side. He'll lob to the opposite side of the field, being chased down by Parker Reed. Wassam in the corner. He'll take the shot on goal, go just opposite of the goalpost and bounce out past the end line. I think they're going to call that out on Lander, giving a corner kick to Worland. I didn't think I saw a Tiger over there, but I could have missed that. I do have a windowsill that I'm peeking around over here. Corner kick, it's going to come off the foot of Court Gonzalez. Referee is going to talk to Parker Reed. Reed gives him a thumbs up. Play will continue, starting from the corner. 22 minutes, 29 seconds to go. That kick will go on the opposite side of the goalpost, gets headed away by Lander, moves forward to the 20. Rodriguez will take control at the 30. He'll bob through several Tigers. Joe Hellier chasing it down now near the 20. Double coverage on top of Gonzalez. He'll drop back to Blood. Wassam will chip it up into the air from the 50, send it about 20 yards forward. Now Worland taking a shot on goal from the 25. That'll go into the possession of Cody Elliott. He'll roll it out quickly and move downfield with Camden Nickel on the near side. Lander past the 40. At the 45, gets bopped up in the air. Referee's going to blow a whistle and administer a yellow card to Riley Blood of the Worland Warriors. He got shoulder checked and sent Camden Nickel to the ground. They'll check him for a concussion. It looks like I saw his neck do a whiplash type motion. They're going to take him to the bench and check him out. He'll receive applause from both sides of the field. Two yellow cards have been administered during this game. One to Weaver and one to Blood now. Ref looking for a ball. Matisse Weaver will take the free kick from about the 45 of Worland's side of the field. Now, Worland's points have not come from their set pieces or plays that we're used to, so I'm going to pull a Dumb and Dumber line here, but I'm saying there's a chance. Weaver's going to lob forward from the free. Oh, goodness. Goes off the head of Reed. Goes a little too far back and out past the end line. Goes attended by Gus Mosman. He even did a jump trying to kick it back inbounds for the Tigers. It'll be a goal kick. Keeper kick's going to come out from Weber. Worland moves forward to their 40. Now to midfield. Anderson will drop back. Gonzalez now to the far side with Wassam. They're playing a horseshoe formation around their defense at the moment. Passing back, trying to get Lander to spread out. Heavy coverage by Lander will send the ball out past the sideline. Last touched Welsh. Worland in no hurry to get it in from the touch. Will take their time and toss it in. Via Carter Clark meets the head of Joe Hellier at the Lander 35. Now rolls to the Lander 30 and 25. Joe Hellier doing a good job of trying to swipe the ball away. Sanford will get tripped up between Loham and Hellier. He'll be awarded a free kick. That kick goes up, meets the head of Mosman. Now forward to the Lander 25. Worland will drop back to Klinghagen in center circle. He'll try to send forward, gets blocked out by Welsh, back to center circle. Donahue following the ball. Forward motion by Rodriguez on the far side, sends forward, meets up with Venable. Venable with a shot on goal, and gets bombed away by Cody Elliott at the top part of the net. Oh my goodness. What a move by Cody Elliott. He one-handed that and was able to tip it out just enough. Keeps Worland from scoring, running away with the game. What a play. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now from the far corner with Worland. Cor Gonzalez will bring that one in. He'll put that just in front of the goal. It'll roll out past the other sideline. Lander ball. It's one of those games you can't help but smile watching. Toss in to the 25 from Hellier. Goes to Loham. Loham facing adversity with Worland. They get pretzeled, no call. It happens in soccer, you know. Moves forward with Matisse Weaver through the circle, trying to make it to Parker Reed. Drops back. Klein Hellier sends it back to the other side of the field. Following it out past the far sideline is Parker Reed. He'll give up the touch throw from, it looks like for McLean Hellier. Reed bobs it off his head. I'll go to Worland. They'll send it back down the far sideline. Gets turned around again by Callum Wheeler. Lander now at the edge of center circle on Worland's part of the field. Now on the near side with Hellier. Joe Hellier, that is. After a back and forth, he will move forward. Loham drops back to center circle with Callum Wheeler. Lander looking for a way in. Reed and McLean Hellier on the far side. Now at the Worland 20. Gets taken to the wing. Gets lobbed up into the air by Wassam. Reed will move forward again. And now Worland's starting to take advantage. And just as they do, Callum Wheeler's there. Lander moves forward, now inside the box, getting inside the danger zone at the 18. Welsh opts to send to the near wing with Joe Hellier. He'll drop back to, it looks like Ben Hamilton, excuse me. Now Callum Wheeler at the edge of center circle. Hamilton chips forward to Joe Hellier. Hellier moves forward, able to go over the thigh of one of the Worland players. Gets a forward motion for Lander. Now Weaver near the ref. Weaver gets tripped up. They'll call it clean. It looks like they were going for the ball. A chip from Worland goes back downfield. Venable there to meet up with Wheeler. Gets booted away by Cody Elliott back past the 50. They'll go out past the far sideline. Lander ball. Parker Reed tosses into Mosman at the 45. Anderson for Worland, now on the far sideline. He takes it to Gonzalez, and now to center with Sanford. They're moving downfield with Venable, coming out to narrow down the angles, and they take a shot on goal that's good. That takes it a 3-0 ball game for the Worland Warriors. Elliott came down. He narrowed down the angles, but as he slid forward, Venable went right and was able to get into the back of the net. Venable with 3 points this game so far. .16:02 left to go in this contest. Substitutions in this contest. We'll see for Worland, Jonah Bailey. He'll head in for Cody Bush. Or excuse me, he actually goes in for Gavin Snyder. For the Tigers on the forwards, we have Reed, Mosman, Donahue, and Welsh. 2 mids, Nickel and Weaver. And then we have 4 defenders, Hellier, Hamilton, Loham, and McLean Hellier. Lander making their way down the sideline with Welsh. He'll drop it back behind him. He'll look for a penalty. He'll say that his jersey was grabbed. Doesn't help, it falls on deaf ears. Back to the sideline with Worland. They'll toss in. Lands about the 35, gets booted forward by Welsh. There to meet up with that was Rodriguez. He sends it to the opposite side of the field. Elliott will grab that in the box and jog it out to the tip. And that kick from the box goes to Klinghagen at the Worland 30. Plays staying along Worland defenders. Donahue with the coverage. Worland bobs it back, goes out past the near sideline. Lander ball. Hellier from the side. Tosses into McLean Hellier. Joe Hellier to McLean. Back to Loham near center circle. He'll take it forward to the side. Looks like it was a missed opportunity. Welsh, it'll go off of him and out at the sideline. Being brought back in by the Warriors. My apologies, I forgot to start the clock after that last score. It's 14 minutes, 23 seconds to go. There we go. Now we're all synced up. Toss in from the 50 for Worland. Little bounce around Lander's 35. Gets taken over by Welsh. Now down the near side. Looks like a swipe on the ball. It would get a little too much contact. That'll be an infraction against Welsh. When he was up against Gonzalez, Klinghagen will take the free, send it to the other side of the field with Rodriguez now on the far side. Crossing Lander's 45. Wassam near the touchline. Opts to send to midfield. Meets up with Joe Hellier. He'll take it away. Lander opting to go up and over the players, keeping the ball in the air. Now Welsh down the near side. He'll meet up with Carter Clark and goes out of bounds. Substitutions in for the Tigers. We see Carter Ayers to the field, rocking his hot pink boots. We also have Silas Wheeler in for Matisse Weaver and Callum Wheeler. Looks like Callum Wheeler will send Loham now to the front of the formation. That toss from the touchline goes into Loham. They'll get changed around by Worland. Loham back with the ball. Loham at the 25. He'll try to get it to Mosman. Gets booted away by Worland. Now getting pushed back to the 25. Venable rushing forward. That wasn't Venable that time. That was actually Sanford. Carter Ayers will drop back to Silas Wheeler at the 45. Forward motion by Lander. Joe Hellier at the 50. Sends forward to Silas Wheeler. He'll give a little tip that goes to Carter Ayers. Lander will try to take it across field. They'll get booted away by Worland and out of the sideline. Hamilton from the near side. He'll throw in. That ball will roll to the corner of the box. Get kicked out of bounds by Klinghagen. The defenders for Worland make sure not to keep Weber too busy. (11 minutes, 47 seconds to go. I would opt to say this is probably one of the closest matches that Worland has had this season. At least after chatting with the sports broadcaster for their team. Yesterday, the Worland Warriors took a win against Rollins 9-0. So to put that in perspective, whistles will blow and that'll be in favor of Worland. That'll be Klinghagen coming forward to the 45. You can hear him saying, Jonah, get ahead on this. Klinghagen sends forward, meets the ankle of Silas Wheeler. Goes now to the far side of the field at the 15. Shot and goal taken. Cody Elliott able to palm it and then smothers it out. No good for Worland. Lander moves forward. (10 minutes, 34 seconds to go. 3-0 in favor of Worland. Worland will drop back to the 25. Lander moving forward now. Past the 50 and 45 with Silas Wheeler. He'll go marked. Lander chipping to the far side of the field. Chasing that down is Parker Reed. They'll go just out past the line. Called out by the far side ref. Substitutions in at this point. In for Lander, Matisse Weaver. In for Worland, we see back to the field Gavin Schneider in place of Jonah Bailey. For the Tigers, Matisse will come in for Gus Mosman. Wassam from the sideline, he'll toss in. He'll chip it from the Worland 25. That'll go in. Goes off the leg of Callum Wheeler, then booted away by Ben Hamilton, returning it to the 35 of Worland. Reed drops it to the far sideline. Moving it downfield with McLean Hellier. He'll get tripped up on Anderson. From the Worland wing, will get chipped out by Wassam. Lander ball at the 35. Coming forward from Nickel. An attempt to swipe that away. Will get bounced off of Nickel. Rolled back to the far wing for Lander. Loham now in there. Getting covered by Wassam and Rodriguez. Sensing the danger from the Tigers, Court Gonzalez will boot that out past the sideline. Substitution in for the Tigers. Callum Wheeler, excuse me, help me. Camden Nickel will come to the bench, and Kellen Donahue will take his place on the field. Clock continues to tick down. It'll be Lander ball from the far touchline near the 15. Reed will toss in, meets up with Weaver. Now Loham, who goes extremely covered. He has 3 people on him. Weaver in the wing. Weaver drops to Reed. getting covered by Venable. They'll try to take it to midfield. Worland getting a touch on it. Back to Ben Hamilton at the 30. Hamilton will take it forward, coming out with a slide as Weber shuts down the motion. He'll clear the goal and roll it forward. Rodriguez now at the 20. He'll chip it to the opposite side of the field. Ends up with Callum Wheeler at the 30 of Lander's side. He moves forward on the edge of center circle, now to the sideline with Reed. Reed bops it forward, ends up with Kellen Donahue in midfield. Drops back to Joe Hellier at the near side at the 35 of Worland. Some back and forth from the 50, and now back to the defensive third of the Warriors. Warriors will turn it around, now past the 50. Chasing it down on the far sideline is Callum Wheeler. He'll keep it in, sends forward to Parker Reed. Reed drops back to Weaver. Weaver will send it downfield. Hit off, looked like the shoulder of Klinghagen. Joe Hellier now at the Lander 45, sends forward, gets swept off mid-pass by Sanford. Carter Ayers keeping up the heavy coverage. He'll bop it out of bounds from possession of Worland. Substitution in for the Warriors. To the bench, we see Schneider. In for him, Jonah Bailey. Tossed in by Clark for Worland. It gets returned to him, and then he'll lob it out of bounds. Lander ball. Might turn down our field mic. The wind's starting to blow a little bit more here at the stadium. Still no blue skies in sight, but no rain clouds either. It's a cooler day, but maybe that's better for the field. Now Worland ball at the 50. Forward motion taken to Cole Venable. He'll do a lateral to the near side, meeting up with Sanford. Hellier will take it mid-pass, sends it back to center circle, this time going to Gonzalez. Klinghagen from Worland defense sends forward. Worland trying to find it way past the defenders for Lander. 5 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Attempt on a tackle by Hamilton. We'll get some whistles. The ref will send a player out to the bench. To the field for Worland. We have Schneider. Looks like we also have Dawson Rogers. Forward motion by the Tigers. They'll take it to the 45 with Reed on the far side. From the 50, they'll chip forward. That'll bounce out of bounds and be Worland ball. With 4 minutes left to go and a 3-0 ball game, folks, I will stay for the next 4 minutes of this contest, and then I will pack up my bags and tail it over to the next contest for the girls. They're playing about 15 to 20 minutes away. We will not do a post-game show here on the Wind River Radio Network and WYO Today. We'll kind of do that in amongst the next game. How about that? It's now Lander ball. Substitution for Lander. Jaden Elliott will join the game in place of Parker Reed. Toss in by Joe Hellier. Parker Reed will go forward. Looks like he got tripped up. A penalty will be called. Infraction against Worland. Matisse Weaver will have a free kick from the 30. He goes forward, sends inside the box, gets caught right away by Weber. Weber staying on his game today. He'll send a kick out. It'll bounce near the side and go out on Worland. 3 minutes, 14 seconds to go. A swipe by Worland will send it forward to the 45. He'll trip up on the ball. Joe Hellier with the heavy coverage. Worland dropping back around their 35. Sends downfield to Rodriguez. Lobs it forward to the Lander 30. Meets the chest of Callum Wheeler. He'll go forward along the far sideline. Jaden Elliott going forward, gets it swiped away by Anderson mid-pass. Now Silas Wheeler in midfield. Sends it to the side with Loham. Loham trying to work his way through the defenders for Worland. Gets swiped by Rodriguez. Rodriguez will lob that downfield. Callum Wheeler will do a nice flick that goes up and over his head and changes the direction of the ball. Now met up with McLean Hellier on the far side. It'll be called out by the refs. Worland ball, 2 minutes, 18 seconds to go. As much as I love to interview Coach Schaaf after the game, we will not be doing that today. We'll be tailing it over to the girls' game at North Park. A yellow card will be administered from the touchline against Anderson. I wonder what he did. I didn't catch anything out of the order. Maybe he said something. Anderson will go to the sideline. Subbing in for him is Mac Page. Ball's brought back into play on Lander's defensive third. Little roll out past the end line. Substitutions for Worland into the game. Anderson will be back just as quickly as he was subbed out. Riley Blood also back to the field. Let me stop the time. For some reason it stopped at 1:59. It's probably for the yellow card. Oops. My apologies. All right, Amber off again. That goal kick goes to Worland's 25. Rushing forward was Carter Ayers. Gets returned with a lob from Klinghagen. Now in Lander's side of the field, two defenders there between, looks like that one is Schneider. Ball goes out on Lander. Sanford ball. Minute 32 to go. I'm about to have the world's fastest pack up, folks. Worland now keeping the ball back at the 50. Worland moving forward to the 40 with Anderson. Gonzalez drops back. Klinghagen now working a formation in center circle. Worland will send it down there, 40. Now back to the 50. I think at this time they're burning some clock. Worland sends it forward and out past the sideline. 36 seconds to go. Worland's going to move on to the state championship. While Lander, and I have to say this too, folks, Lander put up one heck of a ball game today. 19 seconds to go. Lander will move on in the bracket for the third place game, which will take place tomorrow at 11 a.m. We will have the call of that game, and I'm about to book it across town and catch the girls' game against Mountain View. We will have that airing as soon as possible, folks, and please keep in mind that we cannot broadcast video. You can hear the Worland fans, but I will take a moment to say how great of a game that Lander just played as well. Last time they played up against Worland, it was 9-0, I believe, and very different narrative this time. We'll catch you at the next stadium. I'm going to take off, and we'll catch up with Coach Schaaf tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in here with Wind River Radio Network in Wyote Today.